So everybody charged is a Russian so far. No votes were changed, although some were perpetrated. So where is the supposed Russian collusion as of yet? Dan Bongino is all over this. His investigative skills are without peer. He's a former Secret Service agent himself, NRA TV contributor, and of course we love having him on. Dan, what did you learn from today?
Well, I read through the indictment, Brian. There are a couple of key takeaways. Number one, as Charlie said, and he's absolutely correct, it's clear as day now there are two parallel tracks. And the sad part is these tracks are starting, there's some cross-contamination going on here. Here's track number one that has bipartisan agreement. We all agree the Russians are not our friends. They tried to tamper with the election. The indictment is very detailed, and it's very substantive. It details a spear phishing operation by Russian GRU members to try to steal data from some Democrats and infiltrate some potential Republicans and the lobbyists and members of the press. That's fine. We're all in agreement. The Russians are not our friends. The problem is there's no collusion, Brian. We've been told for, what, almost 2 years now? That somehow Trump colluded with the Russians or his team members to alter the results of the election, and there is still absolutely zero evidence of that whatsoever, and it is bogging down our political process.
So there's a big call among some of the leadership on the Democratic side for the president, in light of this information, to not meet with Vladimir Putin. Would that be a good move, Dan?
No, why should he not meet with him? You know, I don't understand. I never get... I can't figure out Democrats for the life of me. You know, they debate themselves all the time on issues. They had absolutely no problem. This is not whataboutism. It's about principles, right? When Barack Obama met with Cuban representatives down in Cuba, they had no issue with that. But now we know Donald Trump has information he can confront Putin with about documented Russian military members, we're talking about a Freudian slip, right? Trying to infiltrate our election process, and they want him to call off the meeting? That's absurd. That's ridiculous. This is actually the perfect opportunity to hit Putin on it.
Do you believe, Dan Bongino, that they're going to try it again this midterm?
Of course. I mean, this is our main geopolitical foe. I mean, this is a nuclear-powered nation that's figured out a time ago that if they can sow domestic chaos, they can rip the United States apart from within. And that's the problem, Brian, I have with these parallel tracks. There's one credible investigation, and this garbage Trump-Russian collusion investigation, which it's a house of sand. There's nothing there. The Democrats need to just let this thing go and focus on the real enemy, which is the Russian part of the infiltration.
Dan, you're not the real enemy. You're a real friend of the show and the network. Thanks so much.
Thanks, pal.